The Su-57, also known by its NATO reporting name Felon, is Russia's answer to the fifth-generation fighter race. But does it truly live up to the hype? Designed to compete with Western powerhouses like the F-22 Raptor and the F-35 Lightning II, the Felon promises advanced stealth capabilities, supermaneuverability, and cutting-edge avionics. But with a development timeline plagued by delays and financial hurdles, one can't help but ask, is the Su-57 a game-changing aircraft, or just an ambitious concept struggling to break free from the weight of its own challenges? Let's take a closer look at what this fighter brings to the table, and whether it has the potential to truly compete on the global stage. The Su-57's origins trace back to the late 1970s, when the Soviet Union initiated efforts to create a fifth-generation fighter to rival emerging Western stealth technologies. This led to the launch of the MFY, Multifunctional Frontline Fighter Program, aimed at developing an aircraft that could compete with America's Advanced Tactical Fighter, ATF program, which later resulted in the F-22 Raptor. The Soviets envisioned a fighter with advanced avionics, stealth, and superior maneuverability to replace fourth-generation aircraft like the MiG-29 and Su-27. Both Sukhoi and Mikoyan MiG competed for the program. MiG developed the MiG-144, while Sukhoi proposed the more unconventional Su-47, originally known as the S-32. Despite their technological promise, both projects faced severe financial and technical difficulties, especially after the collapse of the Soviet Union in the 1990s, leaving Russia without the resources to take these designs beyond the prototype stage. In the early 2000s, Russia aimed to rebuild its military capabilities through the PAKFA, Prospective Airborne Complex of Frontline Aviation program. Once again, Sukhoi and MiG presented designs, but Sukhoi's experience with the Su-27 flanker, a standout in fourth-generation combat, gave it the advantage. Sukhoi was ultimately awarded the contract to lead the PAKFA project. As we'll discuss later in more detail, the program faced significant financial struggles, exacerbated by international sanctions, which limited access to crucial Western technologies. These challenges delayed the development of key systems, including the engines and avionics. Despite these setbacks, the Su-57, then known as the T-50, successfully took its maiden flight in 2010, marking an important milestone. However, progress remained slow, and by the mid-2020s, only a small number of units had entered service, hindered by continuous delays, technical issues, and ongoing modifications. So, let's look at the key technical aspects of the fighter and at how it stacks up against its Western counterparts. First, let's address one of the most debated areas: stealth. The Su-57 was indeed designed with stealth in mind, but its low observability capabilities are often called into question. According to Russian sources, its radar cross-section, RCS for short, is estimated to range between 0.1 and 1 square meter. This, however, is far larger than the F-22 Raptor's reported 0.00001 square meters or the F-35's 0.0015 square meters. While these figures indicate that the Su-57 falls short of achieving the near invisibility of its Western counterparts, the Felon does offer a notable improvement over earlier Russian aircraft like the Su-27 or MiG-29. Against fourth-generation adversaries, its reduced RCS gives it a distinct advantage by delaying detection, providing more tactical flexibility in combat. But how does it fare in engagements with modern fifth-generation threats? When facing fifth-generation rivals like the F-22, F-35, or China's J-20, the Su-57's relatively larger radar signature means it could be detected sooner in highly contested airspace, where advanced radar systems dominate. This could put it at a disadvantage in beyond visual range combat, where the first to detect often wins. Where the Su-57 counters this shortcoming is in its supermaneuverability. Unlike its Western counterparts, which prioritize stealth and multi-role flexibility, the Su-57 was designed to dominate in close-quarters dogfights. The 3D thrust vectoring provided by its engines allows the Felon to perform extreme maneuvers, especially at low speeds, something that neither the F-22 nor the F-35 can fully match. For instance, the F-22 offers two-dimensional thrust vectoring, and the F-35, while stealthy and highly versatile, lacks this feature entirely. This, combined with the leading-edge Vortex controllers, Levcons, enhances the Su-57's agility, maintaining lift and control at high angles of attack. It's a unique design choice that highlights Russia's emphasis on maneuverability as a compensating factor for its stealth limitations. Of course, the Su-57's maneuverability doesn't exist in isolation. Its engine performance plays a critical role. The current AL-41F1 engine provides the thrust and 3D thrust vectoring that enable the extreme maneuvers the Felon is known for, especially at low speeds. However, despite supporting its super maneuverability, the engine falls short in other areas, particularly when it comes to delivering supercruise capability. Currently, the Felon can manage limited supercruise at Mach 1.3, but only at high altitudes and with a lighter combat load. By contrast, the F-22 Raptor excels in this area, reaching Mach 1.8 without relying on afterburners. Just a quick moment before we move on. If you're new here and you like this content, consider subscribing to sustain our work and help us create more videos like this. A key aspect that sets it apart from earlier Russian jets is its advanced N-036 Belka radar system, a first-generation active electronically scanned array radar. This radar system offers multi-band capabilities, incorporating both X-band and L-band arrays, which significantly expand its detection and tracking range. A unique feature of the Felon's radar is the two side-facing X-band radars, often referred to as cheek radars. These allow the aircraft to track targets even when they are not directly in front of it, something that even the most advanced Western fighters lack. In addition, the L-band antennas provide a specialized advantage against stealth aircraft like the F-35, as L-band frequencies are more effective at detecting low observable targets. However, some reports indicate that, while impressive, the Belka radar system may not yet be as refined or reliable as the more mature systems found in the F-35 and F-22. Until more independent assessments are available, the true extent of its effectiveness remains uncertain. But radar isn't the only advanced technology on board. The Su-57 is also equipped with an impressive suite of electronic warfare systems, including directional infrared countermeasures. This system uses lasers to blind incoming infrared-guided missiles, a feature unique to the Su-57 and potentially game-changing in combat scenarios where evading modern missile systems is critical. The aircraft's defensive suite also includes a missile approach warning system and infrared search and track capabilities, allowing it to detect and engage low observable or stealthy targets without relying solely on radar. However, just like with its radar, there are questions about the maturity of these systems. Some reports suggest that while these technologies are promising, they may not be fully operational or integrated, meaning that on paper, the aircraft might be capable of more than what it can deliver in practice. Building on our discussion of the Su-57's current technical specifications, one of the most anticipated upgrades is the Izdeliye-30 engine, also called AL-51F1. This engine is seen as critical to realizing the full potential of the platform, addressing many of the limitations of the AL-41F1 that currently powers the aircraft. The Izdeliye-30 has been specifically developed for the Su-57 and is expected to provide a substantial 30% increase in thrust with afterburners compared to its predecessor. This boost in power is intended to enable the Felon to achieve supercruise speeds of Mach 1.5. But it's not just about speed. The new engine is also designed to enhance fuel efficiency by roughly 18%, reduce overall aircraft weight, and improve the thrust-to-weight ratio, all of which contribute to a more agile and capable fighter. However, the road to integrating this engine has been anything but smooth. Despite the AL-51F1 first flying on a Su-57 prototype back in 2017, its path to full-scale production has been fraught with delays. As of 2024, the engine has yet to be fully operational in any production model of the fighter, and this ongoing delay has had a significant impact on the broader production and deployment of the aircraft. The Russian Air Force has made it clear that they are hesitant to accept large numbers of Su-57s equipped with the AL-41F1, preferring to wait for the improved performance that the new engine promises. This stance has led to a slowdown in the rollout of new units. Moving to the arsenal, the jet is designed to carry a range of air-to-air and air-to-surface munitions, making it a multi-role platform. One of the most formidable weapons in its loadout is the R-37M missile. This long-range air-to-air missile has a maximum range of approximately 300 kilometers, giving the fighter a significant advantage in beyond visual range combat scenarios. On the air-to-ground side, the aircraft can be equipped with the KH-69 missile, a long-range precision-guided munition with an impressive range of around 400 kilometers. The KH-69 is an evolution of the older KH-59, optimized for internal carriage within the Felon's weapons bays to maintain its stealth profile. However, while these munitions appear highly capable on paper, the true effectiveness of the Su-57's weapon systems remains somewhat speculative. With only a limited number of aircraft produced and relatively few instances of the platform being tested in full-scale combat, it's difficult to fully assess how these systems will perform in high-intensity operational environments. Perhaps one of the most interesting developments surrounding the jet is its planned integration with unmanned aerial vehicles, particularly the S-70 Okhotnik. This heavy stealth drone, also developed by Sukhoi, is designed to operate alongside manned platforms like the Su-57, acting as a loyal wingman or even a semi-autonomous attack platform. The Felon is expected to take on the role of command and control, guiding the S-70 in a variety of missions, including offensive strikes, reconnaissance, and electronic warfare. Equipped with its own payload of missiles or bombs, the UAV can execute missions independently, expanding the operational reach of the aircraft. When it comes to operational deployment, the Su-57 has seen limited real-world action since its introduction. Its first significant deployment occurred in Syria in 2018, where a small number of prototype models were sent on a short-term mission. Officially, this was framed as an opportunity for combat testing and to showcase the platform's advanced capabilities to both domestic and international audiences. However, the reality was far less dramatic. The Felon's role in Syria was largely symbolic, with the aircraft primarily conducting air-to-ground missions from a safe distance. There were no reports of participation in air superiority operations or dogfights, its intended role as an air dominance fighter. The Ukraine conflict, which began in 2022, provided another stage for Russia to showcase the aircraft, but its operational use remained similarly constrained. Rather than being deployed on the front lines, the fighter has been involved primarily in long-range missile strikes, often launched from within Russian airspace or from positions far from active combat zones. This reflects a cautious approach, keeping the jet away from high-threat environments where its stealth and air combat capabilities could be fully tested. Russian state media has claimed the platform's involvement in air-to-air combat, including reports of successful engagements. However, these claims remain unverified by independent sources. Most evidence suggests the fighter's role in Ukraine has been limited to standoff missile strikes, using long-range munitions from safer distances. While there have been multiple claims of the fighter engaging Ukrainian aircraft, these accounts remain difficult to confirm. As we've mentioned earlier, the Su-57 program has faced significant hurdles in both production scale and pace since its inception. While originally envisioned as a cornerstone of Russia's future air superiority, the platform's development has been marred by a combination of financial constraints, technological setbacks, and geopolitical pressures. Russia's ongoing financial difficulties have been a major factor in the slow production. The development and manufacturing of a fifth-generation fighter are extraordinarily costly, and Russia, particularly since the collapse of the Soviet Union, has struggled to fund large-scale military projects. Moreover, the sanctions imposed following the annexation of Crimea in 2014 have only compounded these challenges. These sanctions have restricted Russia's access to key Western technologies and materials essential for producing stealth fighters, such as advanced avionics and stealth coatings. Faced with these restrictions, Russia has been forced to rely more heavily on domestic suppliers. While this move was necessary to maintain the program's momentum, it has led to further delays and highlighted the limitations of Russia's defense industry. Developing a fully domestically sourced fifth-generation fighter has proven to be a far more complex and time-consuming task than initially expected. When compared to the F-35 Lightning II, the contrast in production efficiency is stark. Since the F-35's first flight in 2006, more than 950 units have been produced as of 2023, with 121 aircraft manufactured by Lockheed Martin in a single year alone, 2020. This rapid pace can be attributed to strong financial backing, extensive international partnerships, and an advanced industrial base that allows for high-volume production. The F-35 Joint Strike Fighter program, backed by the US and its allies, has been able to meet, and often exceed, production targets, ensuring a steady supply to multiple nations around the globe. By contrast, the Su-57 has struggled to match this level of industrial efficiency. Russia's defense budget is much smaller than that of the United States, and it lacks the extensive network of international partners that have funded the F-35 program. Initial projections for the Felon aimed for around 200 aircraft to be delivered by 2028. However, as of 2024, only 24 to 25 units have been delivered, and current estimates suggest only 76 will be produced by 2028, a fraction of the original goal. This reflects the significant challenges Russia faces in scaling up production. Exports were once seen as a critical element to the program's financial viability. By marketing the aircraft internationally, Russia hoped to offset development costs and generate much-needed revenue for its defense industry. India was initially a key partner in this strategy, having signed on to co-develop and finance the FGF-A, fifth-generation fighter aircraft variant of the Su-57. However, in 2018, India withdrew from the program, citing concerns over the platform's performance, stealth capabilities, and the slow pace of development. Since India's withdrawal, Russia has continued to promote the fighter to potential buyers, with countries like Turkey and Algeria emerging as possible clients. However, no confirmed export orders have materialized. The uncertainty surrounding the Felon's true operational capabilities, combined with the economic and political risks of purchasing Russian military hardware, has made securing international buyers a significant challenge for Russia. In conclusion, we can say that the Su-57 represents Russia's ambitious bid to rival Western air superiority. But does it truly live up to that promise? While it boasts impressive technology on paper, the reality of its deployment tells a different story. Delays in engine development, production challenges, and limited combat use raise serious questions about whether the Felon can fulfill its intended role. Is the Su-57 a future powerhouse of air combat, or just another overhyped project stunted by economic and geopolitical obstacles? Only time will tell if this aircraft will ever reach its full potential, or if it will remain a symbol of unfulfilled aspirations in modern military aviation.